All right. And we are live.
Uh-huh.
Showing off your James Joyce t-shirt.
Oh yeah, I used to have a lot of Joyce shirts. Yeah, quite a few. I had one from Zurich, Switzerland. I used to correspond with Fritz Sen. He's the head of the James Joyce Foundation in Zurich. He's still alive. He must be like 90. But then I've
All
had some
right.
Finnegan's
Well, we,
Wake
we got no
shirts.
one watching yet, so we can just chat a bit before we start getting into our graphic
Okay.
novels.
Yeah, I was live today with Mark and Sean and Gareth and Carrie at Literary Carrie. They did like a desert island thing. It was pretty fun, but they at the most they had like 9, and then it went down to 6. They didn't have like too many. So like
Okay.
in like our
Were you
friends
were
in
you part of the live stream, or were you just participating in the
no,
comments?
just comments, but um like our friends in England right now, they're all asleep because it's middle of the night.
It is the middle of the night.
Well, no,
And
it's
we don't
only
know. I
one.
mean, we're trying it a bit early, the hour early. I don't know if people are done with dinner or cleanup, or we shall see.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm still losing like 1, 2 subscribers all the time.
I always lose subscribers towards, just for whatever reason. I used to think it was something I said in my videos, but I don't think it is. I just think people unsubscribe. I mean,
Yeah.
someone has mentioned that sometimes a video will pop up in their feed and they show, I haven't watched that person in 6 months, unsubscribe.
Right.
So it
Yeah.
really doesn't matter what you're saying.
And I do the same thing too. Or like if people don't interact with me sometimes after I'm trying to, interact with them, I kind of say, well,
Some people don't I have noticed some people just don't like to comment a lot. They just watch and go on. And
yeah, I'm really free with my likes too. I mean, I like everything. I don't care. I like it before I even see it.
yeah, for a lot of people I do that too.
MJ, maybe I shouldn't even say this. Some people like their own stuff. I always think I'm superstitious, so I don't do that. I think it's like detrimental if I like my own.
If you like your own video,
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever done that.
Or like to just kind of push it along, start it rolling.
Well, maybe there's something to that because she has a few more subscribers than I do.
Oh, she doesn't know now? Wow.
She pulled ahead of me a month ago.
Wow, good. I'm not surprised, because she does all the support videos and
Absolutely.
yeah, you guys both deserve it. Your content, Greg, is really good. And I don't know. I improvise too much. I need to start like at least doing bullet points, and
I totally improvise everything,
you
almost
do.
always.
Well, it's pretty good.
What I need to do is get more in the habit of editing. I know some people will do multiple takes. They'll go
Right.
through they'll go through a tag and answer it and go, I can answer that better. Repeat it, answer it again, say I can do better. So they may answer it like 2 or 3 times, and then they go to the next prompt and they do the same thing, and then they go through and just pick their favorite answer out of everything they do.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't do that, but I've redone videos before. Then I've deleted some too, several.
Yeah, I lost one of my videos for some reason. I did the 12 books that I hate. It just disappeared.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing that.
It just disappeared, and I don't know what happened to it. And we might have 4 viewers, so
All right.
let's if you're in watching, just say hi in the comments so we know people are watching and paying attention. My live stream says 4 in the top chat. So Alan, you've just read From Hell.
Yeah. I want
Hello.
to
Andy's
read it
Anathema.
again too immediately. Alan Moore. It's a big, hard graphic novel.
Alan, say hello.
Hello, I'm Alan.
Agnes is Anathema.
Oh, Agnes, hey. Agnes is Anathema. Coolio. But yeah, I'm people were recommending this to me for a long time, years, and boy, well, you get to it when you get to it, but I'm glad I got to it. I'm going to reread it immediately. So many things in here, from the Elephant Man to Aleister Crowley to Masons and the Golden Dawn and all this spiritual stuff. Queen Victoria, it's packed. Really impressed.
Did you get a library copy?
I did, because I don't have the money right now, end of holidays and all that.
I understand completely. It's like a $30 book on Amazon, and
Yeah.
my library system out here stinks. They don't carry it.
Yeah. You could probably do interlibrary loan.
I probably could do an interlibrary loan.
But you should buy it, because you'd really like it. I guarantee you would.
I am, but I'm on this read
That's
what you
right.
own challenge where I'm not supposed to buy anything.
That's right.
And I have foolishly signed up for the 500 book.
Have you? That makes what? You and Ali? Who else is doing 500? Michael K?
Ali is maybe doing it. He hasn't totally committed. Oh, Agnes says, at least your library is not closed for the next 3 months. That's too bad. Why are they closed? I'm kind of curious. And we have Al Ohm. Good evening. I have a copy of Gotham by Gaslight from my teens and picked up a copy of Mouse 1 and 2 used about 10 years ago. Now, Mouse is excellent. We just read that last month. There you go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I think that is one of the best graphic novels ever made.
Mm-hmm. It's good. Yeah, I felt for Vladek, his father, so much, and their relationship. The Nazi stuff didn't really affect me. It did a little bit, but more the relationship did. He was so frugal, ultra frugal. I mean, white hot frugal, crazy frugal.
It really, at some points, I found it kind of disturbing when he was trying to bring back opened and half-eaten containers
of cereal
to the grocery store, because he said, I'll never eat them, so might as well return them. And
it's still good. Here, take some with you. God. But you could understand why he would be like that. And then you could understand why his son Art would, resent it all the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great graphic novel for sure.
So you're saying, hold on, I'm going back to
yeah, she said her library's just making improvements for 3 months, so that would be good. Yeah. We have a good library here in Hollywood District in Portland, but it's all interconnected with the Portland area, you know. But boy, I put like a hold on a book, and sometimes I get it within 3, 4 days, really fast.
Yeah, the library system in this part of Virginia is just not the best. It should be better considering that we're part of Fredericksburg, Virginia, which is a fairly largest, not large city, but medium-sized city. It has, the William and Mary University, but I guess all the university students go to their university library to get all their books. And
Well, have you ever been to the library there?
the college one, no, I haven't.
It might behoove you to get a card there. You know, you could probably get. I used to work at University Library in Tempe, Arizona. I think it was like $20 for free if you're a student, of course, but 20 if just a citizen.
A citizen or the resident of the town. Maybe
Right.
I should look them up, because the one where I am, we don't have a very large budget because it's basically Republican run down here, and they don't want to spend money on books. And
No.
and if you spend
wanna
money
ban
on a
'em.
certain kind of book, they get really, really upset, and then they cut the budget.
Yeah.
So, do you have anything else to say about From Hell?
Oh. Well, yeah, the way it's drawn like kind of Victorian-ish, meaning it's drawn like softly. Sometimes there'll be pages with no text, just illustrations. Let me try to find one. Yeah, here's one. Then it's quite violent, but with like the spiritual bent. And then you know who is Jack the Ripper in this, who's doing it too. The reader knows.
The reader knows.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's kind of like a Columbo thing. Remember the TV show Columbo, where like the first.
Oh, the first scene is like you see the murder, and then Columbo. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like that kind of trope.
Well, I said I'm going to have to try to squeeze that in and find a way to buy that on my book banning challenge, or find a buddy read or something like that.
Well, I know Adam Savage. I don't know if you know his channel, but him and I are going to do a live thing on From Hell.
Okay.
Yeah, probably before the end of the year. But yeah, I like his channel because he's a big Joycean.
All right.
Yeah, he's over in Malaysia right now. The dude, he's traveling all over. Then he's going to Bangkok, and he's been over there for like a month.
Well, if he doesn't have a day job and can travel, that's great.
I know. Tell me, wouldn't that be cool? And he's real into languages, trying to learn the languages. I think he speaks like 3 or 4. But he's got this language app, that helps him with the Thai. But I wish I knew. I kick myself in the butt for not learning Spanish all my time in Arizona.
I've been studying Spanish for a couple of years on my own, like language app. The language app is not going to get you to learn a language. It's going to help, but
what app do you use? Ling?
I was using Duolingo, and then I eventually just stopped because I wasn't getting anywhere. And now, because you really just need to interact with people who speak Spanish in order to really learn Spanish.
Get a Spanish girlfriend.
Well, I read a biography of Marquis de Sade, and he says that's how you learn a language. He says, get a mistress who speaks it. You'll be motivated.
Right. Because I really want to learn Italian, but it's Romantic language, so that's what Spanish and Italian I'd want to learn. Yeah, I want to go to Florence.
That would be fun.
want to see Ireland again, of course. I want to immigrate there, but my go-to is Florence. I want to do Florence.
Okay, so let me show you a different graphic novel. This is, hold on, let me get the camera right. Clyde Fans by just an artist. He's the artist and the writer called Seth.
Oh.
And I'm going to show you all of his art is in this bluish sepia pictures.
Nice.
It is nice. And it starts off. Now you read from the introduction that the artist was in Ontario, Canada. And he's walking through one of the undeveloped areas that just, the business is just left. And he was looking through a window of this business called Clyde Fans that had gone out of business years ago. And he's looking through the window and he saw at one time that it was a prosperous business. Hold on, we get this. Al says, I speak a couple languages. I agree. You must use the language. I suggest getting up in the morning and speaking and thinking only in the language of the day. That could help. Okay, so
method acting.
The artist was looking through the window and he saw a picture of what he thought were two brothers on the wall. He said, those must have been the owners. So he started to write this novel about this business and just inventing all the languages. Not all the language. I'm reading the comments as I'm talking, and my brain just
right.
So he invented the story of what he thought this business was like, and it's told in three parts, I think it is. And the first is one of the brothers who's a very, very old man, and the business is basically declined and gone out of business. And he's living basically in this abandoned business in the top part that was his residence. And you can just see in the artwork that it's, you won't see it here, that it's just a rundown old business. It's falling apart and he's all alone and there's snow out in the middle of Ontario.
Yeah.
And he's just all alone, and it's just so sad and so depressing.
I've been to Windsor, Ontario. From born and raised in Toledo, Ohio. You go through Detroit, Michigan. You can go over the bridge or under the tunnel to Windsor, Ontario. The first strip club. I don't go to strip clubs, by the way. I really don't. But I did go to one there when I was like 15 years old. And it was like a burlesque back then, kind of. Now it's yeah. Anyway,
I haven't been to a strip club in 20 years or something like that.
I know. Me neither. Last time it was some guy's birthday and we went there, and I find it embarrassing.
Yeah, the last time I went, it was a guy's bachelor night, and he had a bunch of his friends went out and then went to a cigar bar, and Well, this is a really moving work because he does so well with his characters. It starts off with the old man talking about his failed business and then talking about his brother who was a ne'er-do-well. And then it goes back and it tells a history to tell you about how they started the business, how it was at one time a successful business. And this was, in the ages when you had fans and not air conditioning.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Wow. Al can speak French, English, translating German, Sino-Japanese, and some Sanskrit Pali. Okay.
Pali, yeah, Sanskrit. Wow. That's ridiculous to learn. Boy, you can read the Buddhist sutras. Sutras in the original. But that looks like a big book too, Greg.
This one, so yeah, this one is I'm not sure they 475 pages, so it's not huge.
Oh.
But if you like graphic novels, I would recommend checking out. My camera just a bit off.
Clyde Fans.
Clyde Fans. Author just has one name, Seth.
Now, I guarantee that my library will probably have it when I go tomorrow.
Oh,
After
I have no doubt that Portland would have something like that. They're probably a very good library system.
Yeah, they just remodeled downtown library. It's over 150 years old. But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 books to take back. And I think one's overdue, but my library overdue date, I can get them to waive it because I volunteered at the Portland book sale. And like I said, why volunteer? But that's one bill I don't mind paying, my library bill.
Yep, Alice, when most languages build on each other, English and French can lead to Italian, Latin, and Spanish. That's so true.
I know. I studied Latin a bit, and I was really good at it. My teacher was a really good teacher, really cool. And God, this is like 10, 20 years ago, and I wish I would have kept pursuing it because I was getting really good. I could read Latin. You know, I couldn't speak it very well, but I enjoyed that.
Learning Latin leads to learning much of Greek. Yes.
Yeah, my teacher could speak Greek, but
I actually read 2 books this year that featured learning Greek, of all things. It was The Secret History by Donna Tartt.
I love that book.
It is. If you know that book, it's all about students just learning Greek. And it was just so fascinating to listen to them talk about the language and all the different cases that you
and professor and the professor,
the wild professor. Yeah. But I was fascinated with just the language and just how you can change a case of a word to change the entire interpretation of the sentence.
Yeah, that was a good book.
It was. And then I read Cloud Cuckoo Land by Anthony Doerr, I think it was. And that also featured people learning Greek and translating ancient Greek works. So that just sort of happened twice in a year. And I said, wow, it would have been fun to learn ancient Greek.
Yeah, it would be. Read all that.
I think I'm a little past the age of learning a language that fluently, but it would have been fun.
I don't think you're ever too old to teach yourself a new trick. I mean, that's what keeps me alive, learning stuff or the next meal, the next relationship. It's just a never-ending curiosity. But still, it would be easier with a girlfriend.
It would. And more fun.
Yes.
Metempsychosis.
Metempsychosis. That's a Joyce. Metempsychosis Roses.
Al says never too old.
Yeah. Metempsychosis.
So, do you have any other graphic novels to show?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Here's one you said you wanted to read too someday.
Oh, Crime and Punishment. Yeah.
I haven't read this either. I like how a lot of graphic novels have the French fold in them too.
The French flaps?
French flap.
So have you read the just the regular print version of Crime and Punishment, or just not the graphic novel?
Right. I've read the novel a couple times and would read it again. I don't have it currently, but I haven't read the graphic novel yet.
Yeah, that's one of them that I want to pick up.
Yeah, it's a thin volume, very thin.
Yeah.
In this world, men shed blood like champagne and become heroes of humanity. Dropping bombs on people is no more respectable than what I did. That's what he says.
So Al said Young has a graphic novel. Nietzsche and Joyce need theirs. You had a Joyce one.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on.
This is a good one. It's like Joyce's biography and graphic novel. And Una and the fellows at the Codex Cantina turned me on to this. It's good.
Yeah. When you speak of authors, I have this one, Kafka.
Oh,
It's sort of a graphic biography of Kafka.
wow. I'd like that. I've only read, like Trial and Metamorphosis, of course. I think those are the only ones I've read by Kafka.
Well, the Trial and the Metamorphoses are the big ones. Some people prefer or like The Castle, which I think was good, but I don't think it was as good as The Trial or the others. He has some very good other good short stories. The Hunger Artist.
Oh yeah, that's one I'd like to read.
And the one about the death penalty. I'm drawing where it tattoos your crime onto your body before it kills you.
Oh wow.
In the penal colony. That's what it's called. In the penal colony.
Oh geez, yeah. I'm against the death penalty.
I am too, but this was written in 1910 or 1914 or something like that, and
yeah, it would be like unusual back then, huh?
Well,
Sure.
I don't think this was Kafka saying this is something they should really be doing. It's just him being kind of out there.
Our governor, Kate Brown, took everybody off death row. She's leaving office. That was like one of her last things she did.
Okay.
She needed everybody's sentence from death row to life.
She has not made the death penalty illegal in Oregon. She has just taken everyone off.
Yeah, who's currently on it. Yeah.
Okay, so Al goes, Finn's Wake would be epic as an AI-generated graphic novel.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like everything.
I've seen some of those AI generated. Basically, they do it a lot with songs. They put song lyrics, and then you see it on YouTube with the lyrics playing, and then you see all these really weird graphics. So yeah, I mean, I have not read Finnegan's Wake. I just read a comment from Roy Reads Everything, who just finished listening to the audiobook version. Mm-hmm. And he says the narrator of the audiobook version for Finnegan's Wake is fantastic.
Wow. I wonder if he got that through Audible, because I haven't. Okay, I haven't listened to mine yet. I just got it, but
it's on my wish list for someday to read. Because if I did that, I'd want to listen and read at the same time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Finnegan's Wake is endlessly fascinating. You can approach it from all kinds of angles, and they say the entire book is on every single page, and I mean it's it's about a family and their struggles, but it's also about the whole of mankind. It really is mythology and all that. But Finnegan's Wake, yeah, I talked to Jason Harrigan about Finnegan's Wake sometimes.
Yep, Al said, yes, listen and read The Skeleton Key.
Yeah, okay. Campbell, that's Joseph Campbell wrote that with somebody else. Skeleton Key to Finnegan's Wake is a good book. It was published like 4 years after Finnegan's Wake in, I think, 1939. So Campbell was like the first one to really get a exegesis into that.
That's cool. Before I tackle Finnegan's Wake, I want to redo Ulysses.
Right. Which we might be doing next year with Una and fellows at Codex Cantina. But I'm writing down these books, Greg. I want to get Clyde's Fan tomorrow. I'll check that out.
Okay. So here's another one. Do you have another? Is Heretics.
Oh.
By Nadler and Nadler. This is a father and son team. And this is a book of philosophy.
Oh.
It's the wonders and dangers and beginnings of modern philosophy. So each chapter goes through how modern philosophy was created with some of the ideas. And so you're going through 1630 through with Bruno. Oh, what was his last name?
Wow.
Giordano Bruno.
Yeah.
Who got burned at the stake
for
his philosophical beliefs. And they have Rene Descartes, a few others.
Descartes was, I think, therefore I am.
Yes.
Ah, nice color.
It is. It was a fun little thing to read. I mean, I was somewhat familiar with the philosophy anyway, so it helps to revisit these ideas in this format.
Now, Al, I have a question for him. I have a whole playlist on Finnegan's Wake on my channel. If you're into waking, I call it waking, or I call it finning too. Like if you want to fin, I like to do it on Sundays.
Yeah, Al says RTE has an excellent rendition of Ulysses on Spotify. They also have hours of extra content. It's fantastic. I'm a bit of a Joyce fanatic. Well, Al,
oh yeah, I'm a total Joycean.
Two Joycean fanatics.
Yeah, man.
No, this is fun. This was a fun one. The learn about philosophy.
Okay, I'll check that out for sure.
So what else do you have?
Well, the man himself, Frank Miller.
Ooh.
Sin City. Remember that?
I've heard of that one, but I have not read it.
Yeah, they made a movie out of it too with Bruce Willis and who's Justin Timberlake's wife, Jessica Biel, is in it. But it's good. I like graphic novels that don't use words a lot. They'll just use images, and this is the first one in a series. A lot of sex, drugs, and rock and roll in this.
Agnes says that is a cool copy of Sin City.
Yeah, it's an old one. I don't even know. I got it used. But yeah, it's the first one.
All right. That's another one I need to pick up someday.
Oh, definitely. Frank Miller.
All right. I'm going to show you. This is not technically a graphic novel, but I think it's close enough to be of interest to some people.
Monsters.
Do you remember all the old monster comics?
No, I don't.
You don't remember where monsters dwell, monsters on the prowl, monsters on the loose?
No, I don't.
This was produced by Marvel when they weren't doing Superman. They were doing monster comics.
Cool.
And I have to see if I can find a picture of one of the monsters for you. Yeah, I think this one might be good. All right. So you have this giant come to life monster, like stone monster.
Yeah.
He's right there. Hold on. Right there. Oh, although this picture is better for you. And you notice something. This monster
Looks like
is
a
wearing
fish.
flesh-colored underwear.
Wearing what?
Flesh-colored underwear.
Why is that?
Well, that's a question that I was asking Michael K. Vaughan. Why do all the giant monsters in the Marvel universe wear flesh-colored underwear?
I don't know. Must be a censorship thing.
It probably is, because they go like, if he wasn't wearing underwear, you'd see the monster's junk.
Right. Just like you were mentioning with Mouse when it was banned over a naked mouse genital. Or
The Book Eclectic is here. Hi, Brandy.
hey, Brandy. Yeah, I subscribe to her.
Yeah, she was part of the New Worlds November, and now the science fiction book group.
Yeah, I'm tempted. I was tempted to do that, but boy, there's just so much, you can do. And like me, I like to read, I like to paint, I like to play guitar and harmonica, like to meditate. So like I just can't do everything.
I feel your pain there, because
Uh-huh.
I have the SF book group, which is going to be every month. I'm in a real life person book group, and my wife joined one, and she invited me to join her book group. So now I'm in 2 book groups in person.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
So
the live ones are good though. Live book groups are really good.
They really are.
You have some wine and cheese and some appetizers.
Agnes says, super interested, looked it up on eBay, $98. I presume you're talking about the monsters.
Oh,
Yeah, this I got from Amazon when it was still available for like $39 or something like that. But yeah, now that it's sold out, it's expensive. And this is volume 1 of 2 volumes.
nice.
It is. I mean, it is very dated in some respects. You do get a very 50s mentality reading these, and it's just the whole giant monster thing is just hilarious, but it's fun. They're very interesting stories.
Be right back. I'm going to get something.
Okay. So let's hold this up some more and go through.
I have a Mad magazine. I have several of these books. I really like them. But Mad about superheroes. So we got Superman and the Hulk. Wonder Woman's in here in color. Remember Plastic Sam? That's supposed to be Plastic Man, but Plastic Sam.
Oh yeah, Mad was a lot of fun back in the days.
Yeah. I wish they still had I have some on my wish list too yet, but like here's my favorite one. Mad Goes to the Movies. I like that. But yeah, Mad Magazine when I was a kid, that was my jam. The magazines and the small paperback books.
Yeah, hold on. I know since Agnes liked the monster one, there's another graphic novel that I have that I read. It's about 10 years old now. My favorite thing is monsters.
Boy, Pax Panic would like that too.
And this is very interesting. It is the storyline is of a young girl artist drawing monsters. So you get this artwork that looked like it's been drawn on school paper, lined school paper.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes through. It's really well done. It has a lot of text. And it's about a young girl who is just fascinated with monsters. And she's living in Chicago because her real life has lots of issues in it. So she's identifying with monsters to
I'm listening. I'm sorry.
So she's getting into monsters. You know, try to deal with the stresses of life. Oh, Scott from the Bookish Bryants can't get into the comments for some reason, but he says hi. Hi, Scott. I have no idea. I mean, I'm not blocking anyone as far as I know.
Yeah, I was talking to Scott earlier in that the Desert Island chat. Scott's used to be a professional tarot reader like me, so I'm going to talk to Scott about that and other things.
And what's really interesting about this is the artist was a professional artist, and then she had some sort of accident where she lost all her motor skills.
Oh.
And as an adult, had to teach herself to draw all over again.
Man.
But if you look at this.
Now, what's her name? Because I'm writing this down.
Emile Ferris.
All right.
Now, the one thing about this is that this is supposed to be the first part of a 2-part book series.
Mm-hmm.
And when I originally read this, it was about 9 years ago. The second part was supposed to come out in the next year. It hasn't come out yet.
Ooh.
So I don't know what's going on with whether she can't get the content done or there's copyright issues or health issues, but still it is well worth. I mean, if you look at some of the pictures there, it's a neat looking picture of her like trying to draw a monster, a comic book.
Yeah, I like her style.
It is. It's very interesting.
Yeah, that's like I was saying about Eddie Campbell, who is the artist from Hell. He's got a really unique style too. You know, I want to say it like kind of Victorian style, but there'll be pages of no text that I really like. Like just storyboards from a movie. And then there'll be, oh God, here's a part, like it's in 16 parts. So every like chapter, they'll have quotes from people. Here's a part, this is chapter 5, where Hitler is conceived. Show some nudity.
Okay.
But it's like that. I mean, that's the Elephant Man's in here, Queen Victoria, Aleister Crowley. Just it's not just about Jack the Ripper. But
see, now I'm more and more curious. I really have to find a way to get that into my hands somehow without having to buy it.
Are you allowed to like accept presents?
Oh yes, I can accept presents, but I'm not asking anyone to send me anything. I mean, because this is totally self-inflicted.
Right.
reason not to buy, because I just have so many books that I have not read.
Mhm.
And it's forcing me to read the stuff that I already own.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
It is. Now, there's at least one person in our group who has a lot of books, and she's doing it because she says she's flat ass broke.
Oh,
She's working 2 jobs
oh.
to pay off all the debt. And so she's saying, I really have to stop buying books because I got to spend money elsewhere.
Mhm.
And see, for me, it's just, yeah, I could buy the book and my wife would never know that I'm spending her money on books, but for me, yeah, it's just that I have so many books that I need to read before I buy more.
Sure. Yeah.
So
I don't
I
even
got
think
a couple other graphic novels. What type would you like to see? Would you like to see ones based on other books?
Yeah, like literary ones.
Would you want to see the biblical one?
No, literary, but yeah, I wouldn't
Biblical.
mind. I wouldn't mind seeing the biblical one.
All right. Hi, Scott. Hey, guys, I switched
Hey, Scott,
accounts.
you
I hope
made
this
it.
works. Yep, I see you. All right, hold on.
We were just talking about you, Scott, and the tarot. Greg and I have a habit of we'll talk about somebody and then they'll appear on here. Like, I wonder what MJ's doing. Let's see if she appears.
Hey, Gareth. Hello.
Yeah, Gareth. We were just talking about Gareth too on the live earlier.
Yeah.
Sean D.
And Agnes says,
Stanfest.
hello, Scott. Glad you made it. Brandy, I'm absolutely not going to stop buying books, but I can stop at any time I want to. Really?
Yeah, I really can. I've heard that before
Oh,
too.
yeah. I've heard that one before.
That's
Okay.
why I'm vaping. I haven't smoked a cigarette since November 12th, but I'm vaping like a fiend. Now I got to quit doing the vapor. But I can quit anytime I want.
All right. Got a few more comments to catch up with. Yeah. Oh, there must have been an issue. Our account not let me leave comments. Gareth. Did you say our names 3 times? I don't think so. It must only work once. Gareth has 1,800 books. I'm there with you, Gareth. You can see him behind me. Okay. Well, I don't know where Alan went, but we'll have to wait.
Sorry.
So here's a graphic novel, The Book of Genesis, illustrated by R. Crumb.
Oh my God. I want that so bad. That's great.
And
I love R. Crumb.
it is the complete text of Genesis, but it has R. Crumb illustrations with the text.
Yeah, R. Crumb, I used to like him a lot too. The Freak Brothers, right? He did the Freak Brothers, and he did Mr. Natural.
Agnes says she has not too many books. Or never too many books. All right. Yeah, that one makes a little more sense. Somehow I doubt your sincerity, Alan. Mine is totally genuine, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Yeah. Well, I'm committed to stopping smoking because I smoke like a fiend. I mean, I vape this, vape marijuana. I was smoking cigars, smoking cigarettes. It's smoke. I got sick of it.
I used to smoke, so I know that. But Garrett's saying I'm going to try to get rid of 200 if I can. Try to be brutal. Well, Gareth, let me tell you a story about getting rid of books. A few years ago, when we were living in Washington, my wife wanted to downsize. We had a big house, and she wanted to downsize. And in one of the guest rooms, I had a room of old paperback books. And she picked up one of these old horror novels, and she says, are you ever going to read this book? And I go, probably not. Just, well, then you can sell it and we can move and you don't have to worry about it. So I unhauled all some of my old paperback books. I had an old one of Death Tour by David Mitchell that someone mentioned it recently. And I bought it for $1.05. And my theory was, well, I'll just go back and buy it again if it's $1.05. No big deal. So I sold it. I got maybe 5 cents for it when I sold it. But now it's going on eBay for $40.
Oh man.
So not a good trade. So Gareth, just watch out what you sell. You know, I kept a lot of like classic books that are not even worth keeping because now the Kindle's out. Yes, Scott has around 3,000. We are unhauling a bunch. As soon as, excuse me, as soon as I get back home, Greg, I have a few to send your way. Yes, Scott, I'm waiting for it. No hurry, though. I'm not going to get to reading them for a while. So, Gareth says, Crumb is amazing. I love the idea of Crumb in Genesis. Oh, yeah. This is just amazing.
I should buy that for my father for his birthday next year. In fact, I think I will.
Yeah, so here we got in the Garden of Eden, walking around, Adam and Eve walking around naked. Hold on, I'm trying to get talking to God. Yeah, so of course this has some nudity in it, but it's a lot of fun. Our Crumb is just a great bizarro. I know he's not Bizarro. That's a different technical, but he's a bizarre
person. Have you ever seen that documentary on him?
No, I haven't.
And his family? Oh man, they're crazy as hell. A lot of weirdness. I won't even really talk about it. Just a lot of weird sex issues and things in the family. If you get my meaning, very strange.
Yeah, Gareth. Hold on. I got rid of about 120 a few months ago, and I already miss them. I'll probably buy them again. LOL. You know, you're not alone. I was talking to an author called William T. Volman in a signing. And, you know, you come and sign his books, he usually says a few words, and we got to topics about selling books because that was around the time I was moving. And he goes, yeah, I did that myself because he did a book on basically during Russia during World War II. And he says, you know, after I finished my book, I just got rid of a lot of my research material. And he says, now I want them back.
You talked to Volman?
Yeah.
What, in Seattle?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. How old is he?
He is about 3, maybe 4 years older than me. So he's 60, maybe 61.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, like we were talking about him. I've only read Horrors for Gloria. I want to read Fathers and Sons. You highly recommend that.
Fathers and Crows.
Fathers and Crows. Yeah, I think Fathers and Sons is a
Turgenev
song. Yeah, Cat Stevens song.
Brandy, I'm never going to unhaul books. I have a large storage unit. I'm good. Brandy, that is a good idea. Leave it for your estate to worry about after you go west. Brandy, that's an awesome and best solution. Yep. Now, the thing is, in the house I'm in, I have room that I will not have to sell any more books.
Oh. Do you have a bigger house now?
It's actually a little smaller, but I have a basement to myself. My wife has just said, the basement is yours. Do with it as you wish. but our actual living space upstairs is a bit smaller than what we're used to.
Yeah. Then you got that cool enclosed patio.
Yeah, that was new after we bought the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Randy, the idea of giving up books causes me physical pain.
I like to I always pick up if I find Joyce books or Dubliners, I'll pick them up used for a couple dollars, and then I'll leave them in the neighborhood free library boxes. And like I got a couple Faulkner doubles I'll get rid of.
Yep.
But
Randy says, yes, my son can handle them when I'm gone. That's the way to do it. But I know I actually did a whole video about what do I do realistically. Someone's going to have to deal with all these books when I pass away. And to be honest, that putting it on my wife isn't the nicest thing to do, because she doesn't know what books are going to be valuable. And a couple of books that I own are actually probably maybe worth some money, but who knows?
Mm-hmm. I just want I have a son too. His mother's very literate and English teacher and a poet herself, but he never really got the reading bug. But all my annotations and my Finnegan's Wake and Ulysses and all that, I mean, I don't want to go for ways to be thrown away, But I've lost a lot of libraries back in the day. I lost an apartment one time in Tempe, and my books were not quite like yours. I didn't have ladders on my bookshelf, but I had concrete blocks and then plywood, and then my walls were like all books. But man, ended up losing them all.
Gareth says, I found it hard to get money for books. I have some fantastic history books, but I can't sell them. I'm surprised that anyone actually sells books to used bookstores, because you get so little for them nowadays.
Right.
Like I said, you get maybe 10 cents, 25 cents per book.
Yeah. That's why I always get store credit. They give you more money at Powell's, for store credit. Yeah, I never take the cash. Big ripoff.
It is. Agnes says, yes, you can have books worth money. I will take them. Well, Agnes, when I hit my mid-70s, I may, early 80s, somewhere around then, I may do a big giveaway of all my books when I have to downsize rather than sell them. But just have to hang out for 20 years.
Yeah, okay. I have to start sending you Christmas cards so you don't forget me.
You'll be in Ireland.
Yes, true.
Brandy says, my son says he'll handle my books when I'm gone, but he swears I'm going to die under a falling book stack.
Oh, yeah. Not a bad way to go.
Yeah, I don't think a book stack is heavy enough.
It depends on what part of the head you get hit in,
Wouldn't that be like a Kilgore Trout novel?
Yeah.
Talking about someone who got killed by a falling book stack and then discovered they have to go to another planet to live someone else's life. That's a Kilgore Trout novel.
Here's a book that was on my shelf for years and I finally read. Really, really enjoyed it. It's half like graphic novel and half text. It's the Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian. You ever hear of that?
I've heard of that one. I have read his collection of short stories, Lone Ranger and Tonto Fistfight in Heaven.
Oh, that'd be good. But it does read like a graphic novel in parts. I'll probably give this book away to I live in a Native American community and apartment complex, and I'm real involved in Native American things. So I gotta find somebody who is a good reader because they have bookshelves like down at the center, but I just don't want to leave it there. I want to give it to somebody who is going to like it because it's a good, funny book.
Okay, yeah, it's one of those ones that are on my long list to maybe read someday.
Yeah, you can read it in a day. Yeah, half a day.
Yeah, is it a young adult book or is it?
Yeah, it could be. It's a YA. Yep.
Okay.
You have
Agnes
any
says
other?
I can wait.
You have any other
Oh,
graphic
I have a
novels?
few more. Do you have, are you out of graphic novels?
Yeah, I could bring up my Mad magazines, but
All right, let's see if I have a couple of other good ones here. All right. This is the graphic novel of one of my favorite all-time books. The Stranger by Albert Camus.
ooh, nice.
Yeah.
My mother died last week. At least I think it was last week.
Yeah, that's close, pretty close.
I mean, that was our first line last week, right?
Yeah, the word in French is mama. MAMAN.
Oh, that's close to my last name.
Yeah, but it's one of those phrases that is very hard to translate because it doesn't really translate to mother. It's more like mommy.
I see.
It's what a young child would call his mother. And it's being used by an adult man, which is, people say, very odd.
Yeah, I was going to say that's odd.
So you know you have to be fluent in French to really understand like
The nuances.
the nuances of the French language because but that's one, as I said, it's pretty cool. And it follows the story very closely because the book is so short that it can fit into the graphic novel format pretty easily.
So, what else are you reading currently?
What am I currently reading? I'm reading two books for the Christmas Evil Readathon. On audio, I am doing a book called Sin Eater by Elizabeth Massey.
Wow, Sin Eater. Is it a horror?
It's listed as horror occults.
Wow.
I'm not positive it's going to have any supernatural elements, but it may. But it's basically a story of a very rural family in Virginia. And they're very religious and they have a very odd religion where one member of the family, when someone dies, they place food on the body. And this one person eats the food to eat the sin out of the body before.
So he's literally a sin eater.
Literally a sin eater. And he's just a child right now and hasn't inherited his father's thing. So it's more like Southern Gothic right now.
Wow. Sounds like a sin eater.
And then
I'm reading a book
reading a Ghost Story by Peter Straub, which is a very famous horror novel.
I'm trying. I know he co-wrote The Talisman and Black House with Stephen King.
Yes.
I've read those, but
Scott, I read a lot of digital graphic novels. I like to be able to zoom in without the distortion from my bad vision. Yeah, that would be useful. I don't
Yeah,
have any digital graphic novels at this time, but maybe someday.
yeah, sure, that would make sense. Well, I was looking for something to read, and I looked over my shelf, and I found I hadn't read this yet.
Middlesex. I've read that many years ago.
Yeah, probably when it came out. I mean, it won like what, Pulitzer and an Oprah Book Club. But
Oh,
I
Gareth
think,
says, Al, I'd love to see your video of your Mad magazines.
oh,
You can do a Mad magazine tour.
yeah, I've only got 3 books currently, but I'm gonna get some more, Gareth. Yeah, I really liked. I started getting them again, like during the pandemic, and I was just, I don't know why. I wanted to go back into my childhood, my adolescence, and I really connect with Mad Magazine.
The Brandy says, same, Gareth. So she also wants to see your Mad magazine collection.
Oh, okay. I don't have a Mad Magazine collection, unfortunately. I just have these like big books so far, the collected books. I've got like 3, 4 of them, but I'm gonna get more. But this Middlesex I've had on my shelf for years too. But boy, it's a wild book, huh?
Yeah.
It's weird. It's got incest in it, and it's more about her grandparents than. Well, I'm only 1/3 of the way through it, so.
It was interesting. Yeah, Brandy says she has some old Mad Libs book from elementary school. Do those count? Sure. If they're filled out, you just have to read them. Do a video of you reading the old Mad Libs. Greg, what kind of books are reading over there? Well, it's the horror, the Christmas Evil readathon, and I needed a book on occult horror, and that's what I found on Audible. I looked up horror; they have an occult. I said, okay, I'll read that for my occult prompt. That's how I've heard of the book before, and I used to own it in paperback. And it's one of those books that I eventually unhauled. My wife wanted to downsize. But it's pretty good. They said, right now, I'm calling it Southern Gothic more than horror, but it's just the whole idea of someone believing you can eat the sin out of someone.
Right. Reminds me of a Harry Crews novel. Now, do you know him?
I've read a few books by Harry Crews.
You ever read Star Lover?
I don't, but it's over there somewhere.
It's a great book. Make you laugh, make you cry. And you talk about Southern Gothic. What about Feast of Snakes?
I read Feast of Snakes. I don't remember a whole lot about that.
It's got the craziest sex scene I've ever read. And it's not all that graphic or anything. It's just only he could write it like that.
Brandy says, oh, wow, I didn't even know that readathon was a thing. Yeah. It was a Christmas Evil. You had like 9 prompts that you'd have to read. And they had like one of the prompts was Santa's Little Helper.
Oh,
You're supposed to read a middle grade horror novel. I don't have any middle grade horror novels.
Like Goosebumps?
Yes, just like Goosebumps. So I sort of cheated, and I went to a book called The Bad Seed, called William Marsh, which is about a psychopathic 8-year-old.
Excellent.
Mid-grader. So that's close enough.
Now, The Bad Seed, Kuntz wrote a novel titled that too, I think.
No, he wrote The Bad Place.
I think he's got a few bad ones.
He might.
I mean, in a title. I like Kuntz. I go Stephen King is to the Beatles as Dean Kuntz is to the Rolling Stones. That's my.
Scott loved the film The Bad Seed. Yeah, they made it into a very famous
Oh.
movie, which I haven't seen, or if I did see, I saw it so long ago that the memory has sort of faded.
Mm.
But it's actually a pretty interesting book, considering when it was written.
I need a refill. You're not drinking tonight, are you, Greg? You got your margarita?
It's a margarita.
Oh. I haven't had a margarita in a few weeks. I go to one of my favorite Mexican joints. I got a couple of them right down my street. And one's a really great, authentic Mexican place. They have these shrimp cocktails for $10. The shrimp are so big, and they're just great. Have a shrimp cocktail with margarita, you're good.
Yes, Scott says Kuntz wrote The Demon Seed,
The
which I
Demon
think is a
Seed.
novelization of a movie.
I like Kuntz's Dragon Tears. Might be my favorite. Dragon Tears.
I've read that one.
Be right back.
Agnes, he has a few bad things titles in a series. He's been writing for decades, and he writes a few books every year, so he has a lot. Like the anthology, well, Gareth, like the anthology of horror writers with British invasion bands. James Herbert being Dave Clark 5.
Uh-huh. Now, James Herbert, I need to read too. Jason turned me on to him. Great horror writer. And
you need to read The Rats.
Right. Isn't that his first one?
That's his first book. And that kicked off the whole genre of killer animals for the most part.
Mm. Yeah, I think Dan Cobain likes him a lot too.
I understand it's very silly in some ways, but it's also very entertaining in others. And I said, as it kicked off the whole killer animal. Yeah, he said in 73 or 74. I think that's when the movie The Demon Seed came out. 1973. All right. Oh,
Dean Koontz, though, he's kind of a lot of his books have like a male, female, they're cops, male, female, and they do go off and do all these crimes and adventures and solve stuff. And there's a romantic tension between them. And
that doesn't sound like Dean Koontz.
Well, the few novels I've read, Dragon Tears is like that. Got a male-female partnership, but they're not.
Oh, they're not the criminals. They're going after the bad guy.
Right. Yeah, they're the cops.
Or the supposed good guys.
Yeah. But yeah, Koontz is good. If I participate in Ollie's Garb August, that's what I'll read some Koontz.
Yeah, Scott says Koontz began writing under a bunch of different pseudonyms in the 70s, so 52 years ago.
Yeah, that's right. What were they? Yeah.
I don't remember his.
But that's correct.
I've mostly read a lot of his older stuff back in the 80s and 90s. I went through a whole big Dean Koontz. So I know I read The Dragon Tears and.
Have you read that Odd Thomas?
No, I have not read Odd Thomas.
I have. Have you read the Frankenstein books?
No,
I have. They're not that good, but
that's where he takes the. Excuse me.
The first Frankenstein book is good, but the other ones aren't as good.
That's where he sort of takes the premise that the Frankenstein monster did not die on the ice floes.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, and again, we have a male, female cop lead that are chasing him around, and a lot of graveyards, things like that.
So Gareth, Barbara Hershey was the female lead in Demon Seed. Very odd film, but she is underrated.
Yeah, she's a great actress, Barbara Hershey. I remember her.
I remember a few of her movies.
I can't name them, but I can picture her.
So Scott, Brian Kofi, Lee Nichols to name two.
Oh yeah, Lee Nichols. I remember.
Lee Nichols, yeah, he had one called Shadow Fires under the Lee Nichols name. That's the one that I remember reading, and I kind of like that one. Very ridiculous storyline, but it was kind of fun. Brandy says, I read Odd Thomas. I liked what I read. Yeah, Criminale just finished the first Odd Thomas book. He was just mentioning that in one of his updates.
Cool. Well, do you have any other graphic novels?
I have a few more.
I know you do.
I have not read this one yet, but is the graphic novel of Swan's Way in Search of Lost Time by Proust.
Now, maybe I should get that too, because they were over the summer, it seemed to me, reading Proust and Swan's Way, and I've never read anything by him.
I have read Swan's Way twice. I listened to the audiobook and I read the book, and I started on the second in the series, but got distracted. So now I have to go back and restart. So I said, I can restart by reading the graphic novel because I've read it before, and then really try to kick off and finish the rest of In Search of Lost Time.
Oh. All right. I'll see if I can get that at the library. Because I haven't read anything. I
don't know. Maybe.
I haven't read anything by Proust yet. And everybody keeps telling me I should.
You should.
I still have to read Moby Dick.
About graphic novels? I never keep up with anything. Is it? Yeah, this Life Live is graphic novels, but that's really just a kickoff.
Yeah, then we go off on
you talk about one graphic novel, and then that leads into other ideas. So once you go down the rabbit hole and ends, then I pick up another graphic novel and talk about it.
Yeah, I want to reiterate for people coming up. This is a really good graphic novel on Joyce, his biography, basically. But it's a great one.
Yeah, Gareth says that Proust book was mentioned in the live stream I did earlier with Sean, Mark, and Carrie.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I presume you're talking about not the graphic novel version, but the regular novel. But it is a series that I really need to read in its entirety. Sooner than later. I mean, for Proust, there was someone, I believe it was Harlan Ellison, who says no one under 40 can understand Proust.
Oh, all right.
I sort of understand it because it's a complicated book about memory of basically being older and remembering things. And
wow, I'd probably really like it. See, I'm kind of afraid that I'll like it too much, and then I'll have to be into it, and then there goes my year. I'll be reading that.
It's 3,000 pages with all 7 volumes.
Listen, that's doable.
Yeah,
But
Garrett says apparently it's popular on desert island discs. I can see that. Scott, we are reading Moby Dick in March. If you want to join us, Alan.
oh, well, I think I might try to do that, but we're doing the recognitions in
Yeah,
March.
we're doing the recognitions. Hold on, where is that? Where's
I've
that?
got.
This is March of the Madden.
Yeah, I got to get your edition.
Don't spend money for it.
You sure?
I think we'll do fine. Mine
Yeah.
is 933 pages, and this is not small print. This is not large print. This is
Mine's 956.
all right.
But yeah, I need to get Moby Dick under my belt.
You've not read Moby Dick yet?
No, I've told you about that. In grad school, I had a friend who was a big Hawthorne fanatic, and I was a Joycean. So he never read Ulysses. And I said, well, F you, I'm not reading Moby Dick. We were friends, but now I like Bartleby the Scrivener, and I like
I love Bartleby the Scrivener.
But I'll probably read Moby Dick, and it'll become my favorite novel of all time, or
Might be.
knowing me.
Yeah, Gareth says, I've got the first Lock and Key by Joe Hill to read soon. I've got about 8 graphic novels to read.
Now, Joe Hill, I loved his Nosferatu. My buddy read that with Sonia at Enthusiastic Reader last Christmas. Or maybe 2 Christmases ago. I can't remember, but it just coincided with Christmas. So great.
Agnes says, lie, just wrong, about young people not getting Proust.
Oh.
Take it up with Harlan Ellison.
Yeah. Don't shoot the messenger. No.
The thing is if he were alive, I would not want to get into an argument with him about anything because he would just go off on a tangent. He was quite a character, quite derisive if you disagreed with him.
Sounds like Joyce.
Maybe those two could have gotten along.
Well, it's been on the back of my mind for a long time, just kind of nipping at my shoulder, you know. Swan's way. So maybe 2024.
Maybe that would be more than a March of the Mammoths kind of project. That would be a year-long project that you.
I wanted to tackle War and Peace this year too, just like on my own. I've got the new Anthony Briggs. A big brick. Nice French flaps on that too. Penguin Classic Deluxe Edition.
Yeah, I read that. I read that last year for the first time.
Same edition?
I actually jumped around in my editions because hold on.
Because Constance Garnett has one, and I don't really like her all that much. But then
I have this edition.
The Abbott sisters have one,
which is the Anthony Briggs translation.
Oh, okay.
But
you have a nice edition.
It is. It does have a problem. How many pages is yours?
I barely lift it. It's with notes and everything. It's like 1,395.
Okay, so it's probably the same type, but I was reading this in March, and my wife and I went to the Dominican Republic for the last week of March, and I was still reading this, and I said, I don't want to bring this edition
Oh,
on the plane with me to the Dominican Republic, so
no.
I eventually switched over to an ebook version, which was the Maud translation. But it was fine.
Yeah,
I mean,
I want to buy the mod
What?
because audio, like Audible doesn't have the Briggs edition. They have the
No, they
mod.
don't. But they have the ebook and the audiobook that you can get from the Prime library for free.
Mm-hmm.
And you can listen to the audiobook while the Kindle reads to you, or you highlights the text.
Yeah, that's what I'll probably do.
How I did. I don't know. I read about the first 800 pages in the Briggs translation, and then switched over.
Now here's another book that we both haven't read. I don't think you've read it, have you?
I have read it. I'm rereading it now, kind of.
Oh, I've got this dumb Dover edition. I didn't look when I bought it. I don't like Dover editions. But that's on my TBR.
Yeah. Oh, Scott saying Moby Dick is his favorite novel of all time.
Wow.
It's really good. It is an experience. It's not like other novels.
And you don't have to skip the parts where all the details about the whales.
You don't. You read about the whales
and that whale oil and all that, and how you render the whale fat.
Right. There's some people who talk about why that's in there, and it's some interesting ideas about why it's like Captain Ahab was totally obsessed with Moby Dick, the whale, after he got his leg bit off.
Right.
And one of the ideas is that after this novel is done and Ishmael survives, he is himself totally obsessed with whales.
Oh.
So it's sort of like there's a transference of obsession. I don't know. Scott may disagree, maybe right. I don't know, but it's just an idea. Oh, so wait a second.
Yeah, I read.
Is I read of the Mammoth something I haven't thought of doing, but I could be tempted.
Yeah, Gareth. I mean, I read 2666 one year. I don't want to take on Moby Dick because I'm just reminded that Jeremy Fee and I are reading Ken Follett, the prequel to Pillars of the Earth. I think it's called Midnight and something. But I mean, I can read that along with the recognitions. I think,
okay.
You can read a Ken Follett book. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are the only two I'm going to do in March.
Scott says he hasn't read Ulysses.
A lot of people haven't, but
maybe you'll join us if it happens this year.
I recommend the Gabler edition. That's what all Joyces are reading now, this edition.
Not the new edition you want to buy?
Oh, no, I want to buy the Canterbury, the new one. That's brand new.
Because that's the edition that I have.
Yeah, that Catherine Flynn?
No, the one you just held up.
Oh, Gabler, yeah. Yeah, that's the one to read. I mean, if you want to stay up on, if you buy, there's I don't know, 20 editions of Ulysses, and they're all different page numbers. But if you want to stay current, everybody's using the Gabler and have since 85, 86. But there's a new edition by Catherine Flynn, the Centennial Cambridge, 1922 edition. That Una's got it at Codex Cantina, and I'm going to get it for myself.
Okay. So Scott was talking about, we're a little going back in time, talking about Nosferatu. Yeah, I read that one, and I also read Heart Shaped Box.
Mm.
Out of those two, my favorite was Heart Shaped Box. I think that just had it was a first novel, but you could just feel that he had all this energy that he had to spew out writing that first novel. And there was
Mm.
something about Nosferatu that I cannot remember what it was, but something about the end that just, there was something that I really liked and something that I just did not like at the end as well.
Well, it has a happy ending, I think. Remember, she's riding that
No,
bicycle.
it
She's riding the bicycle through the tunnel. Remember her bicycle?
yeah.
And then I think she ends up dying, and her husband dies too. So, yes, not really happy, is it?
No, but that wasn't he did something that Stephen King does a lot. He amps up the volume on supernatural happenings.
Mm.
Where he just, I mean, the whole premise of the novel, okay, it's kind of ridiculous a little bit, but you can give it a little bit. But he like his father, he just puts a little too much supernatural energy into it, and it breaks my willing suspension of disbelief, saying I just can't buy this story anymore.
Mm. It was pretty outrageous, but I liked it. It was I liked the outrageousness of it, and how that evil guy really got it in the end. She got him. That guy who ends up blowing up with a water heater, I think.
I don't remember that level of detail. Let's not give too many spoilers,
Oh
because I
yeah.
see that Brandy down below in a comment has not read Joe Hill yet. So let's
Oh,
try to
I'm
keep the
sorry.
spoilers down.
My fault.
Yeah, so Gareth is asking, how big do you have to be to qualify for March of the Mammoths? And Scott
800.
answers correctly,
800.
800 pages, Gareth.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
Agnes War and Peace is a masterpiece, and Death. Stuck in the middle for the last 2 years.
Oh.
It is just an incredible book, but it takes so much out of you to finish it.
Yeah, it's like my bucket list book. And I have a friend in England, commenter extraordinaire, I call him. She doesn't have a channel, Claire Shepard. She's going to kind of help me along because I really loved Anna Karenina. And I was so ignorant, I didn't even know the spoiler in that. Luckily, people kept the spoiler of that. So I was blown away by Anna Karenina. Anna Karenina.
Yeah. Gareth says, I think my book on Jewish Sephardic folk tradition fits. Probably does.
I like Jewish mysticism, the Kabbalah and that. And you said, Greg, that you shouldn't read Swann's Way before you're 40. They say that about the Kabbalah too.
So Scott says, I will join you reading Ulysses. I have a modern library edition. Cool. So who's thinking of hosting this?
Una and Crypto.
And Crypto.
Codex Cantina.
Well, you have to tell them that you have a lot of people lining up ready to do this. When was he thinking of doing it?
I don't know. We're just talking on Boxer back and forth.
June.
Yeah, that'd be a great month. Well, I mean, he and I always do something for Blues Day in June.
Well, that's what I said. I do want to visit Ireland one day, and I want to visit it in June so I can go to Dublin and watch people read Ulysses in the pubs.
Oh yeah, it's great. They do it all over. I was there one year. The mayor joins in, and it's great. They're not only in the pubs on the street. I mean, they take it over. It's bigger than St. Pat's Day over there, Bloomsday. But Yeah, I've only been to Ireland one time in the '90s on scholarship, luckily, and studied at University Dublin, where Joyce did. Studied Joyce. I really I felt like I was coming home. Really had a great experience.
So there was a Brandy said she hasn't read any Joe Hill yet. And there she's taking you to task. How dare you, Alan? I'm deeply offended. Give you a
Oh
spoiler for the book.
no, that book is so rich. I didn't really spoil anything. You'll see. You'll like it. It's a great book to read over the holidays.
That's right. It does have a very strong Christmas theme.
Very much.
But you learn that pretty early on, so that's not really enough. So I'm running out of some graphic novels to show.
Yeah, I'm out too.
I have one more that I'll show. We've been on here for an hour and a half already.
I know, time flies.
This is my box set of John Lewis. This is his
The
graphic
politician?
novel memoir.
Not the politician.
Yes, this
Really?
this is the famous politician John Lewis.
Wow.
It's his life story.
No kidding.
So it tells you a lot about civil rights. He was a marcher across the bridge in
Montgomery?
what? Alabama?
Montgomery? Alabama?
I think was it Alabama?
Or Selma?
Selma, Alabama. That's right. So it's actually a very good set of graphic novels.
Wow. That's
And
good.
you need to see what quality of character he had, because he's not like our modern politicians. He had real convictions, and he really believed in what he was doing, and he wanted to make this a much better world.
No. Yeah, he said, get into that good trouble.
Absolutely. So
Get in that good
This-
trouble. Well, I
this
wrote it
is-
down. I'm going to check it out, see if I can get that. John Lewis. Seems like he can write a graphic novel about anything.
yeah,
You just got to get a really good concept going.
and you got to get a good illustrator.
Yeah. Good writer like Alan Moore. But
Yep.
so stay tuned. Maybe before the year, me and Adam Savage are going to do a live thing on From Hell. I just got to read it again, but I've got post-its all over, and yeah, I'm very impressed with that.
So Brandy says, weird. Maybe I'll read that next Christmas. Well, they might have the Christmas Evil readathon next year too. So something to think about. Scott, I'll read it with you, Brandy. I started a couple years ago and never finished it. Let's do it next December. All right. There's already books piling up for next year.
I know. I sent you a. Well, I commented on a video, Scott, with my Voxer ID. If you wanted to chat on Voxer about stuff.
Garrett says, do you like the graphic novels by Joe Sacco? They're political books about the Middle East, Israel, etc. I do not know those. But
I don't either. I'm going to write that down, Gareth.
I should know more about the Middle East than I do. It's one of the areas.
Now, we were talking about girlfriends, and I had a
Sounds like a plan. Scott says, Brandy.
yeah. I learned a lot about the Middle East from a girlfriend we were talking
MJ. Hello, MJ.
about. She finally made it.
She finally popping in before going to sleep.
We were talking about you earlier, MJ, and hoping you would appear.
Give Watson a belly rub for me,
Yeah. Give him a pat on the head for me.
or whatever he likes.
He likes toys. Watson's easy to buy for.
I don't know. I wonder if he's a destroyer of dog toys. Because when I had my dog Chaz, every time we bought him a toy, he would immediately go for the squeaker, and he would go after that toy until that squeaker was torn out of that toy, and he'd look at me and go, "I got this squeaker."
Funny. I'm this close to getting a dog, a small dog.
Agnes says, "I'll take that set." Unfortunately, I'm keeping this one. I did, however, many years ago, I was part of a book group that was reading this, and one of my assignments was to place a copy of this set out into the wild for someone to find and read. So maybe it's still out there in Tacoma, Washington. Been a few years, but you might find it, might not, or go to your library and.
That's the one about the Middle East?
No, this is the one about John Lewis.
Oh.
Agnes was saying she wanted my copy.
But you say that Joe Sacco?
Joe Sacco was the one about Middle East. Let me see if I can find his comment again and put it back up. There we go.
Yeah, I'd like to
Joe
read that.
Sacco. They're political books about the Middle East, Israel, etc.
Yeah, I had a girlfriend who was like a American. How do you say Syrian American? But she was like Muslim. So I learned a lot about the Middle East through her. Now this is like 5-6 years ago, but I was pretty ignorant about that whole situation. Now I can see it from both sides better, Palestine and Israel. And, I don't take sides or anything, except when it comes to Ireland. But, yeah, just like learning new things, learning different perspectives.
Gareth, it's 3 a.m. and you're still up listening to us?
Yeah. Crazy, huh? I was surprised to see him.
Yeah,
it's like
we're buddy reading Flow My Tears, said the policeman by Philip K. Dick.
What was that?
We're buddy reading Flow My Tears, said the policeman by Philip K. Dick.
Yeah, I want to watch the movie The Man in the High Castle.
Read the book. I have not seen the movie, but if you have not read the book, that's definitely a book to read.
Yeah. I've only read. It's my favorite, Philip K. Dick.
That's my favorite too.
Yeah, it's a trip, huh? God.
Horse Lover Fat.
Horse Lover Fat D. Boy,
yeah, he's such a trippy. I mean,
he had some wild girlfriends. Horse Lover.
Yeah, he had this amazing talent, and he did so many drugs. You wonder if that just turned his talent in that one direction, and what he would have been like if he had never taken any drugs at all. Whether he would have created these great works of art and science fiction, or he just gone on to be a.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I guess he did a lot of like amphetamines, right? He was a big speed guy.
I'm not positive of the type of drugs that he did.
Yeah, I've watched a couple of documentaries on him. But that Bellis was real. He had that type of experience. I don't know if it was drug induced or, brain chemistry or what, but it's scary. I wouldn't want to experience that.
I don't want to experience that level of weirdness from drug use
Of
in my
genius,
life.
yeah. I'll just be my own little weird self. No big epiphanies.
Yeah, MJ says, I really want to read From Hell one day. I'm with you, MJ. If you're doing a online, that counts as a buddy read or a group-a-thon. So I can technically buy the book if you do that and not count it because I'm reading it with your group. It won't count towards my 500, but I can buy it.
Well, there's your in, Greg. Because
Yes, Alan, I'll look you up on Voxer. Gotta go, guys. Get some reading done. I'm finishing A Fall Full of Moon Dust by Arthur C. Clarke. Great book. See you soon. Bye, Scott. I think he's probably already gone by now because I'm a little behind on my comments.
Yeah, he's probably gone. Scott's used to be a pro tarot reader like me, so I can't wait to pick his brain about tarot and that.
Yep. So MJ was sleeping on the couch. Yes, large toys he destroys. Tiny toys he cherishes.
Oh,
okay.
I like how he picks his favorite. I like those videos.
There are a lot of. I mean, when I had my dog Chaz, we had this wicker basket, and we put all his toys in the basket. And sometimes we go, Chaz, go get a toy. Chaz, go get a toy. And he'd go over to the basket, he nose it open, and he'd sniff around, and he'd grab a toy out and bring it over to me.
Wasn't always the same one?
No. Oh. I don't think he had a favorite toy. He just liked me to throw the toys for him so he could go chase them all over the house.
Yeah, I had a miniature Schnauzer for 17 years, a wonder dog. Played tennis ball with me. I'd run him ragged. He's really smart.
Yeah, Garrett says, I can't get toys for my dogs because they last seconds. Yep. Yeah.
I think sometimes dogs' favorite toys are the ones they can eat, like pig ears or those neat red bones for their teeth.
Brandy says cats are better. Well, Brandy, I have 4 cats, and if you watch my channel, you notice I have a lot of cat interruptions in my videos. So you know I like cats.
Yeah, I like cats too. I like all animals, but I can see getting a cat. I call it a familiar. Kind of train it to tell me secrets. The occult.
Yeah, Garrett says they are terriers, though.
I like terriers. I'm probably going to get a Chihuahua.
Okay.
Yeah.
Garrett says, I think Joe Sacco's most famous one is called Palestine. It is amazing.
I'm going to write that down, Garrett.
Now, wait a second. Now it's coming back to me that the name of Sacco in Palestine is just, I read a review of that somewhere that just said it was really, really good.
Yeah, I think I have a friend who I think I would like to buy that book for too. They'd like it.
Agnes is saying you have to find in the wild since your library is still closed.
Well,
so he was going to read more of his book. Then I had to about more poetry was going on to write. Then he saw us. Thank you for dropping by and staying with us.
How's your margarita doing, Greg?
So
how's that big bottle you had? You make a dent in that yet?
The tequila, yeah, I made a dent. I don't want to drink all my tequila all at once.
No, that's a huge bottle you had. That would last me a month.
No, if you have a shot at tequila every night before you go to bed, it lasts about 2.5 weeks, maybe 3 weeks.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe that one would last me like 2 weeks then, because I
Yeah,
like
well,
I like margaritas, and I don't mind. Do you like tequila sunrise?
I don't know if I've had a tequila sunrise.
It's just tequila and orange juice,
No,
OJ.
tequila. Um, do they use the white tequila or the Anjou tequila for the sunrise? They
I don't
probably just
know.
use the clear tequila because the Anjou
Probably.
tequila is just for straight drinking. Now, Gareth
Mm.
was supposed to be wrapping presents.
Okay, 3 in the morning.
You got time. You got time.
Yeah, I only have to buy
MJ
for
says
a
she
few
can't buy
people.
books. She can't buy it.
Well,
I
Greg
guess
said if it's a group read, you can,
she
MJ.
may have. She has. Everyone sets their own rules a little bit different.
Oh, oh, I see.
See, I had to set the rule that way because I'm also going to be on the BookTube prize
Oh,
judging. So I'm going to be assigned 6 books, and if my library doesn't have it, I can't say, well, I just can't read this one.
yeah.
So that's why I have that exception saying I will try the library first. But if I through the BookTube prize or things, if I can't find it, then I allow myself to buy it. Haven't had to do that yet though. Yeah, Andre says, yep, he had a tiny bookshelf full of toys. Has.
Well, I'm
Andre says,
getting kind
all
of
pets are
hungry.
wonderful. I have to agree with that one. I also had rabbits at one time.
Oh,
And rabbits are very affectionate. People don't understand just how affectionate a rabbit can be. They will cuddle up with you like a dog or a cat.
oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. They only live about 10 years, so not quite as long.
Yeah, and I heard you can't. You're not supposed to feed them carrots and that,
No, I don't remember exactly what you're supposed to feed them
like
because
rabbit
our
pellets.
rabbit he died like 6 years ago, something like that. But every night my wife would make him a fresh salad.
Oh,
She'd go
wow.
outside and fennel and parsley. I think carrots are okay, but in limited amounts.
Oh, so he was an indoor pet.
Yeah,
Wow, man, that's really cool.
they're very clean. They will use like a cat litter pan.
I didn't know
Now
that.
we didn't use regular litter, and we used towels because my wife liked to collect his poop because rabbit poop is really good for gardens.
Ah,
If you want like to throw rabbit poop on a plant that's not doing so well, it will give it lots of nourishment.
yeah, like for a rose garden.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got a lot of roses around this neighborhood.
Here's Brandy. I like dogs too, but cats are a better pet for me. Dogs are too much work.
Yeah.
Dogs can be a lot of work because you got to walk them at least 3 times a day.
Mhm. But with the Chihuahua, I can keep in my leather jacket, walk around with him or her.
Yeah.
I'm trying
Watson
to
thinks
find.
he's a cat
I'm trying to find a
sometimes.
shelter that like is under $100 for adoption. Up here, they'll want like $500 at the rescue or the one I'm looking at online. I'm going for $500. I might as well buy a American Kennel Club Schnauzer. Like,
That's kind of expensive. I mean, when we went to a shelter and we adopted our 2 cats in February, it was like $75 for 1 cat
wow.
and then like $100 for 2 cats.
Mhm. So you took two. Huh.
The story is we had 2 cats. We had Teddy and we had Millie. Millie's old and she basically just sleeps all day. And Teddy tried to keep playing with her. and she kept getting very angry at Teddy because he's old and she wanted to rest. So we decided to get a friend for him. So we went to the shelter. We had a list of cats that we were interested in. We looked on the website first, and we went in. Said, well, all those cats have been adopted.
Yeah.
So I went in and said, oh, you have this 3-legged cat named Trike. I'll take a look at him. So what happened was I went into the room with the cats, sat down, put him on my lap. He just rolled over and let me rub his belly and his chin. He was all happy. And I told my wife, we're taking him. It just, let's look at another cat, see which one we'll love better. So we went to another room. Big mistake, because she picked up this cat with name Morticia. She goes, I like this cat. I said, well, we'll just take 2 cats. And we had a third cat in that room that was banging me on the head with his paw. Just going like, and saying, like, pay attention to me. And I said, we have to get out of this room, because they would absolutely let us go home with 3 cats. So that's how we wound up with that.
It's a good one.
All right. Watson does seem calmer and sassy, so I would believe that. Thanks, Agnes. Watson is awesome. I love looking at Watson videos. He just has this charming face. He just looks at you like, hey, I'm a good-looking dog.
Yeah, and then he comes on command, too. I think the command is free. She'll say free, and he'll come.
Randy, eek tequila. That makes me sick. I'm a rum girl, especially vanilla rum with orange juice.
Oh.
You know something? I'd try that. I'm not proud.
Did somebody mention about familiars in the comments above? About cats and familiars? I think Gareth did.
Yeah. Talking about familiars. It is so cool, the idea of Philip Hillman wrote about us all having familiars. Love that idea.
Yeah,
I read that book. You get a familiar when you become pubescent or something like that. I don't remember that detail.
Yeah, something is calling me to get a dog, and several people in my apartment building have them. So I think it's time for me to get a dog.
Yep. MJ says, smart rule, Greg. I'll see if my library has it. Yeah, I mean, I think I had to adopt the rule because I'm a BookTube prize judge. But really, if you're joining in on a book group and your library doesn't have it, don't punish yourself by the read what you own by denying yourself not reading something. Gareth, I'm seeing my friend tomorrow who I go book hunting with. I bought her the Daisy Jones and the Sixth book. Need to wrap it up, though.
This shouldn't take too long.
No. Book hunting, interesting phrase. Like it. Need to use it. Yeah, I miss going already to like thrift stores and looking through their stacks of books, and sometimes you find something really good and sometimes it's just old crap. MJ says if the shelter is 5013C, it's a donation tax deduction.
Oh,
I'll have to remember that. I mean, it's only $100, but
yeah, I'm just like investigating it now, MJ, and online and trying to talk to people, and so I have a small apartment, but if I got a small dog, and now I would get one of those litter boxes for dogs, but I would also walk him 3 times a day. I mean, I'm retired. I work part-time sometimes, but yeah, I take the dog with me everywhere.
You have a little dog harness. Have you ever seen those?
Little papoose.
Mm-hmm.
I could carry him on my back, and he could like lick my ear. So I already see it. I'm already talking to him in that. Or
there is also doggy buggy buggies. It's like the baby buggies.
Oh,
you push around a baby,
right.
but they have doggy buggies.
I'm not going to do that, Greg. That's not cool for me.
Not cool, but there was a path in Fredericksburg that I used to walk. And I used to walk it with someone break, and there was this woman who used to walk 2 dogs. And in this doggy buggy, there was this very, very old dachshund. And you could see the eyes were just totally covered with cataracts.
Oh, God.
And this dog probably couldn't walk very well, but she was diligently pushing her dog in this buggy.
Yeah, that's a beautiful
and so
thing.
the dog, and the dog was probably having good old time and sniffing the outdoor air. And
yeah, that's true. But yeah, I'll get a little papoose for my Chihuahua, but I like to keep it in my leather jacket. I just kind of carry it around
that's
like
cool
that.
too.
Yeah.
Watt is an old soul. He is MJ's familiar.
Yeah, I like the videos from when he was a puppy too.
I saw that. What I think was this morning or yesterday.
I can't keep up with him, but I haven't done a short in a while. And I missed MJ's Saturday morning live too. I think I missed it twice. I've been slipping.
Okay. Oh, I'm going to say never too many books. As I say, I'm planning to get rid of 200. Yeah, we know. Okay. I think Gareth is going to bed too.
Yeah, I'm not going to bed, but I'm hungry.
Time to get ready for work. You guys have a great night. Brandy, it's
thanks, Brandy.
middle of the night. Got to go to work.
And I used to work second shift. This is third shift now.
I guess so.
Second shift is like 2:30 to 11.
Pumpkin time for me, says MJ. Good night, all. Good night, MJ.
Good night. I'm going to get something
Angus.
to eat.
Tangible Reads. I think she just popped in. Hello, Andy.
Hey, Courtney.
Friend. Hello, Tangible Reads.
Yeah, Courtney. Courtney's on vacation. She's down in like Cancun, I think.
Oh, I love Cancun. I go a little farther south to Akumal. That's like 45 minutes south of Cancun, but it's the same basic area, the same Mexican Riviera. And we stay on this resort, and it's just a beautiful resort. It's like all-inclusive resort, and have beautiful rooms and beautiful grounds, and it's all-inclusive. So all your meals are covered, all your drinks are covered.
I like Rocky Point, Puerto Penasco. They have like light shell beaches.
Yeah, I love that area of Mexico. I don't get out to explore the real Mexican territory that often when we're down there, just because my Spanish is abysmal. And
yeah, I know Spanglish.
And parts of it are just so desperately poor. I mean,
tell me about it.
You drive through it like we're going to Chichen Itza, and you just drive through parts of Mexico, and like, this is real poverty that you'll see in lots of places like the American South, in some parts like West Virginia and Tennessee, that just are desperately, desperately poor.
Yeah, we used to go over through Tucson and New Gallus. You just walk across the border.
I'm back. She's back. I had a blast. Oh, she got back from Cancun. So she's not talking from Cancun.
Oh, yeah. She went on a little trip to like Key West and all over. I was impressed and envious. I've never been to Key West. But anyway, we've been on for like
We've been on for about 2 hours, so I think my wife's gone to bed already.
Yeah, man. Well, it's been great, Greg.
It has been.
We had a good one this time.
We did. We had a bunch of people show up, a couple of new people, and Tangible Reads. And All inclusives are the best. I've been to Chichen Itza. Is Rocky Point on the east or the west? I
Oh
don't
shoot,
know.
I'm bad with directions. I think it's west.
Is
Yeah,
that
I'm
is
sure
that
it's
Pacific
west.
side of Mexico?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, it's the east. I think it's by Arizona, so it'd be east, right?
I have to check a map.
Me too.
Kendall says, check out my travel vlogs, Greg. I take my books with me. She takes physical books. Okay. That can work
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Courtney and I are going to buddy read. Oh, it's on the bookshelf, but Marlon James. I'm turning around to Marlon James.
Are you going to read the Night Women?
Yeah.
I have that on Kindle.
Well,
When
if
you
you want
plan,
to,
when are you planning to read it?
next month.
Really?
Yeah, you can join us if you like.
Book of the Night Women. That's the one. I might join you if you don't mind. I don't have
No,
anything.
that'd be cool.
I liked the Seven Killings, whatever. Which one was that?
Yeah, History of Seven Killings,
History of Seven
Bob
Killings.
Marley, and Jamaica. Yeah, that was good. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll in that.
Okay,
A lot of violence.
definitely.
But yeah,
Okay,
love
well, I
Marley
think we need to basically wrap it up, unless there is few last questions for us before we call it a night. Give it a second for people to comment, because I never read Marlon James, so looking forward to it. Hopefully not over my head.
No, he's really readable.
I don't think it'll be over your head. He's not that kind of author.
Pretty violent though. He's violent, and at least Black Leopard, Red Wolf was.
I have no idea about
Those are good.
the Book of Night Women, though. I think that was his first novel. Was it? I'll have to look it up. We'll find out.
Yeah. All
Okay.
right, well, cool night,
Everyone,
thank you, everybody.
thank you so much for showing up. If you're still around, and any ideas for next month? Next week?
Next week, I don't know. Maybe something what classics, maybe, or I don't know. Why don't you try to think of one this time?
All right.
Well, yeah, because you thought of the first lines, and then I thought of graphic novels. So
Yeah, I was going to say do poetry, but then everyone would run and hide. Like,
yeah,
no, not poetry.
right.
Well, we'll think about it.
Yeah.
We'll send a boxer, come up with something cool. All right. I'm calling it an end.
All right. Cilantro,
Good night.
everyone. Later.
Later.